quite excited for this one. I believe it is a photography world first. I don't want to brag, but it is. I'm going to try and achieve today something which, as far as I'm aware, has never even been attempted before. Too extreme, probably. What I want to do is I'd like to discuss with you my opinions on the importance of personal photography projects whilst at the same time making marmalade. I know it's dangerous, but I feel like I'm the man for the job. So please strap in. If you're on any kind of medication, this one could be wild. No, come with. I'm doing this because I love photography. I love making marmalade. It's mum's recipe. It's far better than anything you buy in the shop. The weather's crap, so let's just get it on and do it all at once, huh? Now, the chances are this is going to be a bit of a mishmash of a video. I'm going to flip-flop in between photography and marmalade. So if you're into photography, I hope you like it. If you're into marmalade, I hope you like it. And if you like photography and marmalade, well, your ship's just come in on it. Most sterilisation with pressure vessels, you need between 121, probably 136 degrees, depending on how long and what kind of cycle you're going. But we don't have a steriliser, so we're doing it the good old-fashioned way in the oven. Preheat your oven, 160 to 180 degrees. Wash your jars thoroughly in soapy water. Rinse them out thoroughly to get rid of the soap, but leave them wet and stick them in a roasting tin and then wang them in there. But the trick is, don't put them in until you're ready to decant your mixture into it, because otherwise when you get a liquid jam or marmalade that's boiling, thermal shock can smash your glasses. If your glasses are pre-warmed, they won't smash. Stick a dish in the freezer. Just a little plate. Don't worry about the size. We just don't have any specific size. Just put it in the freezer. You can thank me for it later. All will become clear. You're going to need, for this particular batch, 1.8 kilograms of preserving sugar. I know you can get other kinds of sugar, cane sugar, whatnot, but I find preserving sugar is 2 kilograms there, so there'll be a bit left over. So, to me, the importance of personal photography projects. You can have pictures of your family on the wall at home, and this is all great and cool, but I think it's nice to have a constant thread, something to work on and aim at. And I don't know if you're like me, but if you put me in a situation for something that I want to achieve that's not necessarily easy to achieve, but you put a time limit on it, I generally fall out of interest with it. The easiest way I found to start is, number one, is obviously pick your subject. It's got to be something that you're kind of interested in, and I said it on the Castle Hill video. I like kind of finding dilapidated, run-down buildings in the middle of nowhere that nature's taken its toll on. I like photographing those to show the kind of, almost like a picture that makes you sit there and go, oh, I wonder what kind of, that's seen some weather, that's seen some years, it's got a story to tell. So that was my subject, and I settled on that about 2 years ago. And the easiest way I find to do it is on my desktop, whether you use a Mac or PC, doesn't matter, put a little folder on your desktop. Now, you can call it project, call it whatever you want, whatever reminds you. You don't want it in your face, but you want it so it's easy to get to. One of the things I found is if you keep this folder buried on a hard drive somewhere, every time you take your project pictures, and you might only take one a month, if that, you've got to dig to find it, and you're less likely to do it. If it's on your desktop, you just drop that straight off your card into there. Save the editing for a rainy day if you want. If you're not time-based, I mean, when I'm making these videos, I've got a few coming up and I'm shooting. I've got to get them edited how I want them edited, because I'm not going to skimp on it. But I've got to get them edited to go in the video, ready for the video release. It's time-based. It can be quite stressful. Whereas the beauty of the project, it's your timeline. It's your brief. It's up to you how you want to do it. So put a folder on your desktop. I called mine Bleak when I decided what the title was going to be. And I'm going to, again, feed the photographs away as we go through. And it's kind of, for me, it's not something I feel pushed to do, but if I see something that falls in line with my project, as I'm out driving across the country or whatever, I can stop and take it. It's not one of those, well, it's one picture, it's, And also, if you look at one of these pictures from Blake on its own, you might go, well, I get it, yeah, it's a picture of a rundown house, but what? But when you put that picture in a body of work with other pictures, you kind of get its meaning more. It translates better. It comes across. Even Angry Wife said to me, she said, I wondered why you were stopping randomly and taking pictures of houses when we were on holiday once. And she said, but now I've seen the collection together, it makes sense. Well, if Angry Wife gets it, and Angry Wife she's a realist. She's not really into art. But therefore, the proof of the pudding to me is that it does translate. And even if it doesn't translate, who cares? It's for you. It's not for anybody else. And it is a tough one to call because I can't tell you what should go in your personal projects. Again, personally, I like to keep the theme the same, the rundown houses. I like to try and edit it the same. Now, that's where the challenge came in. I've been doing this one for about 2 years now. Now, over those 2 years, I have a guilty pleasure. Let's leave that to one side. I have a guilty pleasure of buying older cameras. I do love old cameras. So I've shot these with the EM5, the EM1 Mark II, the OM1 Mark II, obviously. I shot it with the Lumix LX100, the Lumix GX8. There's been a mishmash with Sony A7, Mark 1, Mark 3, and Mark 4R. So when it's coming to the edit, I've got to try and edit them. And you might see it as the photos go through. Some of the edits are a little different. That's the sensors or whatever. But as long as kind of the message comes through that I'm trying to purvey or you're trying to purvey in your project, that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, it's your project. If you don't like it or you get bored of it, bin it and do another one. But keep that folder on your desktop. It's there for when you want it. I've gone months without taking any pictures for Blake. Sometimes I've had 6 pictures a month in there. It is what it is. But I am going to close the door on Blake this year, I think, and I want to start a new one. I haven't decided what that new subject will be. I'm batting a few ideas around. I'll share them with you when they come. But I think it's nice, and you just know in yourself when it's ready to close the project. And then, for goodness sake, print. Don't just leave it on your hard drive. If you only share on social media, that's great, no problem. But do something with it. I like to make books on mine. When I get the prints back, I'll share them with you and show you. I want to show you other ones from Tom Robinson's side as well from printing. In fact, I think printing needs a video of its own. But do something with your project. Make a book so you can share it, show other people. It's like I say, when you get the collection together and you're flicking through the pages with a cup of coffee or you're showing your mates, and it adds so much more to the story and the project. And I think people, if like Angry Wife, if she doesn't quite grasp what the whole point of going out at sunrise is, when you see the collection of images together, it adds weight to that. One of the beauties of personal projects is because you spend so long doing it and considering it and things like that, it adds more of a value of the project to yourself. It makes it more personal. The only way I can describe this is the same justification I can use from switching from Sony to OM system. And I can hear a load of chairs have just gone, and sat back. Bear with me. When an artist, be it a painter or a sketch artist, goes out with a book, like you see him in the National History Museum in London, for example, people drawing fantastic pictures. I wish I could draw. I can't draw. I wish I could. That's why I take photographs. But when you see people drawing pictures and paintings, ask yourself, are they drawing these pictures and paintings so that they can have a painting at the end? Maybe. I bet you 9 times out of 10 more of it is the process, the start, the drawing, the actual doing to get that image. And that's kind of what happened with me with Sony. It's great. The Sony camera system is fantastic, apart from your sticky buttons. But it's great. The final images, if you can imagine it like a sausage machine, you put the meat in, press the button, turn the handle, flop, out it comes. That's your photograph there. And it's perfect. Every time. Brilliant. However, for me, that pushing the button, starting, putting the meat in, turn the handle, was such a sterile thing. It was kind of like somebody just gave me a finished product. There was no journey from here to there. There was no process involved. Whereas when I've shot with Nikon and when I've shot, Nikon as you prefer, or when I shot with Olympus and OM, I always felt involved. I really enjoyed it. One of the other systems that I've really got a feel of that from was the GFX system. I am, with every part of me, fighting the urge to go and invest in GFX. I love OM system. My heart's there. It always has been for years. I've shot with OM and Olympus. However, that feeling came back then. That's such, for me, an important part of being inspired to go out and take pictures. Is you've got to be involved. It's not just about the, there's your picture. It's how we got there and you took it. And this is where AI is going to fall down. There's no involvement. And making jam or marmalade or preserves, it's quite a personal thing. I've used 850 gram of kind of pulp and sliced skin and zest and rinds. I've stuck another, I think it's 450 ml of water in there. It looks about the right consistency. And now we're just measuring out. That other bag is a kilo, and I need another 0.8 of a kilo, so 800 grams of sugar. Not a health food, not for slimmers. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a regular thing, me cooking. I don't know, unless you like it. I do a mean pea soup as well. Ooh, restaurant standard. But to be honest, I thought the idea of photography projects and marmalade making was just too extreme to pass by. Nearly spilt it. Kilo of sugar, preserving sugar. Not many things as satisfying as this. Now we boil this sucker up and we do like a sticky skin test. That sounds a lot more like a deviant practice than it actually is. But what you have to do, stir it all in, those measurements and weights and everything I told you about. You basically stick it in the pan, clag it all together, stir it all up, get it nicely mixed, then put it on the heat. Bring that sucker to boil and boil it for 15 minutes. Stir it constantly, never stop stirring. Is it possible to correlate marmalade and photography? Who knows? Probably not, but I'm going to try. It's probably going to be like this every time the weather's a write-off. I'm probably going to find some bizarre activity to do while quantifying things that I felt have helped me with photography. Whether you're a seasoned photographer or just a beginner. Because you're approaching it in a different way, it's kind of that folder on your desktop. It's a back burner job. You know, you might think a bit more about what you're doing with it or trying to consider how you're going to get what you want, because it could be quite a specific niche that you're going for. And what I've found over the years is that kind of helps you find your voice as a photographer, your look, which I know is something a lot of people struggle with. Well, I'll take a lot of pictures, but I don't know what my look is. Try some photo projects. You might be surprised. Rather than you going and find your look and your voice, it might come to you and showing your images. This is who you are. This is how you shoot. And I found that can be really useful for when I've helped people start or talk to them before. So, try this. They've always fed back on that. That's really helpful. But also myself. I didn't know what my voice was or what my images were. But I realised going back, looking over years of photography, I have a certain style of shooting. That's mine. And like I said, that came to me, not the other way around. It can be quite revealing. A quiet approach to your photography, if you will. You're not going out, throwing tripods out. I'm shooting this, I'm putting filters at the bottom of the waterfall, I'm going to climb up the river. We've all done it, we've all done that stuff. But the photo project, to me, calms and focuses your mind. What am I doing here? What do I want to do? What am I trying to achieve? And like I say, you could do anything as your photo project. You could do vintage cars, in which case, your opportunity shoot is generally round about car show time, And one of the things, take this if you want, go for it. I said I like doing kind of dilapidated buildings that nature's took hold of. I think my next photo project is going to be vintage machinery in the wild, which it sounds random, but I got talking to a chap the other week, which will probably be a video coming up, and he has a tractor which is restored, and he keeps it in a shed in his allotment in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to shoot that. I've got his number, I've got his name, had a chat with him. Obviously I'll do him a print for his time, but it opens doors, things like this as well, Think about it like this. Wouldn't it be nice, got to watch the marmalade, wouldn't it be nice in 2 years if you could sit back with a book from your project and it'll mark your progression from here to here? Tell me how it's a bad thing. Got to keep stirring. Don't let that monkey stick. I said it was world's first, wasn't I? No one else, I don't think, has ever thought photo projects of marmalade. She's starting to steam, Captain. And if this delicious concoction starts to bubble too much for the marmalade mix, there's a trick I can show you for that as well. Wizened Yorkshire mums, full of knowledge. This miracle tasty brew needs to boil Once it's hit boiling point and bubbling away, we reduce the heat and we keep it going for 15 minutes. When the concoction's ready, the jars will be ready to accept it without any thermal shock from the heat, breaking the jars. You feel the granulated sugar start to disappear as it melts into the syrup. Starting to get bubbles. Good time to jump in. Let me show you this. Can you see these bubbles forming? Not necessarily what we want. So, get a knob of butter, wang it in, and that butter will keep the bubbles to a minimum. In there you go. You have to get what's called a mixture, something called set point, which is how you know when you get it in the jars and you leave it to cool, it'll form a jelly, it won't stay as a liquid. All good stuff. And the smell is incredible. There you can see the butter's worked its magic there. It's killed all them little bubbles and froth on the top. That's how you want it. Look at that. That's my mum asking how the marmalade's coming on, because I told her this morning I was going to make it this evening. Now, when decanting time comes round, this goes without saying. You know, be careful. It's a hot, sugary syrup. It'll stick to you, and it'll continue to burn. I know none of you are daft. I know you'll all be careful, but just so I can sleep at night, I need to say that. Any second now. Oh, timing, look at that. Right, this is where it gets fun. I've took the mixture off the heat. I've turned the oven off, but leaving the glasses until I'm absolutely convinced. Do you remember the plate we put in the freezer? There's a reason behind everything. What we do is we take a teaspoon of the mixture and we just dab it on the plate together like that. And that now goes back in the freezer just to cool it right down, because I want to see what happens when it sets. I give that 2 minutes. Back out she comes. What you do is you touch it with your finger. And if it wrinkles, it's ready. Drag a finger across it. Not quite. I never get it first time. This is going back on for another 2 minutes. Ooh, even when it's not ready, it's good. Back in the fridge. Freezer. And yes, Mum, I'll get a clean spoon. So, because it didn't set first time, I'm going to boil it up again, give it a good stir. Just for a couple of minutes, that should do it. It wasn't far off this time. I think I'm being picky. In the meantime, while that's doing its thing, I'll get the jars out of the oven and prep them for receiving the mixture. Prep them, put them in a line. Hot, hot, hot. And the reason you prep the jars like that is so there's no nasties in there to make it spoil. And if you find that when you do decant it into your jars, that all the peel comes to the top, give it a stir. It'll go back down. Top tip. Welcome to Marmalade Hour, with bits of photography involved. I'm not saying this is the best marmalade ever, but when it's all done, I'll probably get a wedding proposal off Paddington himself. Weapons at the ready. Oh, lovely. Now we leave them to cool. So there you have it. Personal photo projects and marmalade. A world's first, never been done before. But what do you know? I was thinking as I was doing the washing up in there and putting it all out to dry and allowing our marmalade to cool, there is a correlation between marmalade and photography. I do it because I enjoy it. It's for me, it's a personal thing, same as my photo projects. I'm sure there's some of us out there as we've been going through this video just going, what the devil is he taking a picture of this for? But I do it for me. The same reason I make insane amounts of marmalade. I do it for me, I enjoy it. This probably has been total psychobabble and doesn't make a lot of sense to most people, but I do think there's a correlation there somewhere, some random twist in the cosmic swirl somewhere. We tipped over 100 last week, 100 subscribers. I know I'm not Peter McKinnon with 6 million, I know. But the fact there's 100 people out there that enjoy the same kind of things on the same frequency as I am, I'm really, really thrilled that you keep coming back to see what's going off. Those 5,999,900, they're all missing out on the world's first of marmalade and photo projects. It happened here first. You were there. Thank you for staying. If you've made it this far, you're probably as crackers as I am. So thank you ever so much. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed. It means the world to me, does this. As I said, and I keep saying it, even if nobody subscribed, no one tuned in, I'd keep making these because I enjoy them. I've got things to share, and I'm really, really happy that people want to share it with me. So thank you ever so much. See you on the next one.